Good. I guess we're rolling.
Yeah.
Here it is, dude. Years in the making, honestly. We've been talking about a little podcast for a while, huh?
Been a while. Yeah.
It's going to be a real one, a raw, uncut podcast. Here's the intro to the AP podcast. So today, I'm Ayden Parent. We're just going to introduce you to me before I actually start making podcasts. So this is the man, the myth, Mr. Caleb Macias. And here we are, dude. Let's dive into it.
Let's do it. I'm excited. All right, man. I mean, let's see. A little bit about yourself. If you had to give a bio to everyone, I mean, your credentials, everything,
Man.
a little bit about you.
Not much, to be completely honest. I feel like I've accomplished more than I actually have sometimes. But 21 years old. I'm a real estate agent, real estate investor, and I'm a divisional manager for a door-to-door sales company. So I got a little bit of sales experience under my belt, as do most of the guys that work with us. I know you came from car sales, finance. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for me. Small town kid, big dreams, and they're finally starting to kind of turn into a reality. So
Sick
here we
see.
are. I finally feel like I have enough credentials to actually start something like this. So we're jumping in.
Cool, dude. I mean, you already said it a little bit. You're doing sales. What exactly are you doing for work?
Yeah, so door-to-door sales specifically, pest control at that with Aptive Environmental. So we just knock on people's doors, go from one house to the next, get told no all day, every day. If I get a couple people to tell me yes, I'm good. I made a pretty good amount of money that day. So that's the job description.
The life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, with that, I mean, what made you choose it? And then even now, because you're going into your second year, third year, why do you choose to continue doing it?
What made me choose it? Just the glamorous life that you see people living in terms of successful salespeople.
Yeah.
You don't really hear you hear a lot of horror stories, but whenever you see the positive side of it, it's hard to like turn down or look away from.
Yeah.
You know? So honestly, I was watching Chandler David Smith on YouTube. He's a real estate investor, and I saw that he's like 30 years old. I think he was at 128 units at the time, and it was kind of mind blowing. Like I couldn't believe like, how's this guy 30 and he has 128 units? At that point, I'd read probably 10 real estate books, and every single one was just talking about getting your first duplex, getting your first fourplex, maybe moving to a bigger unit, apartment complex. And that guy was just doing it big. And he made a video talking about how he made the money initially, and it was door-to-door sales with Aptive. So fast forward a couple years, I'm here. He got me in the funnel. He got me to click. And then best friend now of 2 years, Mark Wilmore, reached out to me and is now my boss and mentor. So.
Dude's sick. Dude lives one of those lifestyles
yeah,
that we talk about.
Absolutely. I don't think he really lived that lifestyle whenever I first met him. It's kind of funny to think about. I think he had like 8 units of rental real estate or something like that. But over the past couple of years, you know, he's got the Audi R8, the TRX, a couple more units, and he's looking to get moving on big stuff. But I guess why I still do the job, one, I only work like 6 months out of the year, really. Like for the other 6, I just like manage teams, kind of do my thing. Like I wake up at like 10 a.m., 10:30, 11. That's not even lie, maybe 12 some days. And then just hang out with the guys, come to the office, manage, teach people how to sell, and get ready for the next summer. So
That's sick. Cool. And then the next one, the job, as far as, I guess, the hardest things that you've encountered, I guess a little bit about those, because everyone sees like the lifestyle and all the glorious, but what's kind of the behind the scenes to that?
Yeah, sometimes, I can't see these questions, by the way. It's on his phone, but I can't make them out, so I actually have no clue what I'm about to say. Sometimes I feel like I do it to myself because I want to do the job at a high level, and doing the job at a high level oftentimes like takes a lot. Like it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. So like and this one's kind of funny, it's contradictory. I think it's the best thing about the job too, but it's probably the worst as well, is whenever you're really like getting after it and going as hard as you can, sometimes you can be like stretched thin. You know what I mean? And I feel like the same could be said with like any business, to be honest. You kind of just get like captured by it almost. Yeah. Like that's probably a lack of better term word, because I don't feel like I'm captured by it, but you just get like lost in it. You just start to love the journey, love the grind, and sometimes it catches up to you, and you kind of have to take a step back and hang out, chill, go on a trip. You know what I mean? Not do work for a couple days, but other than that, it really just be like how hard the job is. That's probably the hardest thing. Like, I've had days where, I knock 300 doors, I talk to 100 people, I make no sales and make no money. But on the flip side of that, like the reward for the sacrifice is always worth it. If you go all in. Like the day after I talked to 100 people and made no money, I probably made $3,000. So it's just give and take. Like the volatility, I guess, would be like the hardest thing for most people to deal with. But other than that, like I love it, to be honest with you. I find like a deep sense of like fulfillment and joy in knowing that I'm in like the best financial vehicle possible, which is sales, and knowing that I have the opportunity to teach other people how to do it and like change their lives as well. So it's pretty fulfilling. I would never say that the job is bad, but the worst part about it would probably be that. Yeah.
I like that a lot. I think the biggest thing that I take away from that is when you talk about working hard with no results. That's like a lot of things that a lot of the, first reps, rookies or stuff like that don't really realize. And even something I had to kind of like realize too. So it's sick that seeing that you can push past that, and even on those hard days you get that.
Everybody has them. You had them. This guy started for his first 5 days, made no money. And that's tough coming from the job that he was doing, but you just got to keep moving, keep it pushing, and trust the law of averages. That's one thing that this job has taught me, like huge, is like anything in life. It's like if you hit the piñata enough times, it's gonna bust and all the candy is gonna fall out of it. But you just can't stop hitting the piñata halfway through, or you're gonna get nothing. So
that's sick.
That's definitely probably the biggest like hurdle for most people to jump.
Yeah. Now, as far as, I guess, that was the behind the scenes that people don't see, what is, I guess, your favorite part about the job? There's tons.
No.
There's tons.
No, but it's hands down, it's so easy. It's the trips with the boys. Like
trips with the boys, huh?
There's literally nothing like going to Ecuador or the Galapagos Islands or Turks and Caicos or the Bahamas or Thailand, or even like we're about to take a trip to Utah to go snowboarding with the guys. I'm super excited for that one. And like the best part is taking those trips with the guys, but to almost like a caveat to that, the best part about those trips is like the people you take them with, the perspective you get to take from those trips, and like the knowledge you gain whenever you're around the like-minded people that this job brings you. So like, for example, I went to Georgia like last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, for a wedding for one of like my best friends now that I met through the job. And it was like all the guys that do the job together. We stayed up all night. We talked like sales, politics, religion, real estate, everything dude. If you could meet one person in the entire history of the world, who would it be? Like just all those little talks. And there's some really special minds, like Josh Cranenberg. Hopefully he watches this. He'll see it. He is like one of those people that I like gravitate towards. It's like you just want to be around him and have a conversation with him. Same thing with Mark, same thing with most of the guys, and that's probably the best part about the best part is just the people you take the trips with. But other than that, it's just the freedom. I guess those trips are the freedom. You know what I mean? So freedom and the people that you get to have that freedom with, definitely the best part.
That's sick. Real quick, who do you think? Early call out. We're going on the trip. We're going on the trip with the boys.
I hate these early call outs. I don't even know what I'm about to
Utah. Who's falling first? Who's falling the hardest?
Ooh.
A lot of the boys from New Mexico. We don't see too much snow.
I think, dude. So first fall, I'm trying to think who else going on the trip. I mean, right off the bat, I gotta say, probably Sarah. Sarah's probably going to be the first fall because she's going to be confident. She's going to think she's got it. The hardest fall is going to be Tommy.
Tommy,
It's his first time going. he's going to get that little groove, and then he's going to get way too cocky. He kind of has that little switch in him sometimes that he just thinks he's like perfect
You're going a
at
little
everything.
too quick down the hill?
So he's going to get going too quick and just eat it, dude. So that's an early call out. I'm excited to look back on that one.
I like it. I like it. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm going to hit you with some random ones here.
Hit me with them.
This is rapid fire, okay?
Okay, so what kind of rapid fire are we talking? Within seconds?
Yeah, I'm just going to hit you with them. You get a couple of seconds.
All right,
Don't think too much about it. Just go ahead and go after it, all right? All right, funniest guy on the team.
Oh, Daedrin.
Daedrin, easy, okay. Favorite city to sell in?
It had to have been Fort Lauderdale. Actually, I'm going to go Port St. Lucie. It's above Fort Lauderdale. I literally love that place to death. The best place to sell pest
Promised
control
land. All right, bug you're most afraid of.
The bug I'm most afraid of?
Bug you're most afraid of,
man. Oh, man. It's got to be a brown recluse just because I feel like people can get bit by them, not really notice, and then, like, have, like, some serious stuff they got to go get taken care of at the hospital.
Yeah.
It's either that or a scorpion just because they're so, like, the sting hurts.
I don't know if I've ever seen a scorpion in my life. Hot weather or cold weather? Which one do you want to sell in?
Oh, so there's the give and take with everything. Yeah, I'm gonna, just for the sake of the hot, like, rapid fire, it's gonna be hot weather for sure.
Okay. Dream car?
Aventador SVJ for
Okay.
sure.
Cool. Year?
Brand new.
Okay.
Gentani exhaust.
Got it. Cool. And then all-time favorite pair of shoes?
Reverse Mocha Travis Scott ones.
Cool.
I have them. Dream shoe.
Cool. And then favorite artist?
Rod Wave for sure. I loved rap like my whole life, and then I kind of like started maturing a little bit more, so I stopped liking like rap that was pointless and about nothing. So I naturally kind of like gravitated towards Rod Wave.
Sweet, I like that. And then not the highest rep, but what will the highest rep hit in revenue?
This summer?
Yeah. In your downline.
I'm just going to play it safe here, just so I know I can look back on it and be like, yep, told you so. 350.
Okay.
For sure.
Sweet.
But if I'm going stretch, I think somebody's going to break 400K this summer.
Okay.
I could see that.
Cool. If your goal's higher than that, it should be to prove him wrong right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Top hitters, in my opinion, that I could throw out there right now, as long as Andrew Miller really, really focuses on sales, not as much leadership and management. I'd love to delegate as much as I could of that for him. Andrew Miller is going to be one of the top hitters for sure.
Huge
and
year.
then I could definitely see you doing some crazy stuff. And then in terms of like potential, I'm going to go Sarah and Tommy. And Tim. Whenever Tim gets on like a bender of sales, like he does not get off of it for weeks.
I'm taking right now on that one, the sleeper. I think that two guys that come to mind that I think are gonna have crazy years, Jacob.
Absolutely.
And Zay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All day.
Hands down. Absolutely. Jacob's in the office all the time. He's grinding. He's like, he was reading a sales book today.
Dude's a sponge. Like he just wants more.
And I mean, there's just not that long of a time frame that you can learn and not start to earn. So that guy's coming for sure. He's like my underdog pick, like one of the guys that's just young, has a ton of potential, didn't hit exactly what he wanted to hit last summer, and he's kind of got that chip on his shoulder. So I think it could get dangerous for sure.
Zay too.
Yeah, Zay as well, 100%.
That guy's special.
100%.
I like it. Cool. Right here, looks like we got book of the month, man.
Book of the month, man. So I've kind of been slacking on reading lately. The book that I've been giving to all of our reps right now is Think and Grow Rich, just because I feel like it can give you such a big mindset shift. It's probably one of the first 5 books I've ever read, and I would probably put it in my top 10. If I'm going book of the month right now, though, if there's one read that I think everybody should read, like before the year's over, we'll call it December.
Okay.
It's going to be How to Win Friends and Influence People, because just like sales skills, if you can learn how to win friends, influence people, make connections, take care of them, there's nothing you can't do in this world. That's the most valuable skill. And I think you learn that through sales, and I think that's why people say sales is the most valuable skill in the world.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's by Dale Carnegie, by the way, just in case you're looking it up right now.
There you go. Just plug it up somewhere up here.
Like right here.
Someone will do that.
Yeah, sick. We're about to take a little transition, get some, non-sales talk in there, and then we'll wrap it up after that. So open season.
Let's go. All right, so year's coming to an end here.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we, November 28th. So we got roughly a month left to the end of the year. What are your thoughts, like life, wealth, health, kind of all that stuff? What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish for the end of the year?
Yeah, so my thoughts this year, honestly, I crushed it in like the business world, personal earnings, but honestly, I kind of like neglected to take care of like my knowledge and my health as much as I used to. So this year was like a huge growth year and like perspective shift, I guess you could say, because like I've won this year at like a pretty big scale for somebody like my age, but at the same time I feel like I'm not winning everything I want to win. You know what I mean? So one of my goals that I'm working on right now to kind of like flip that back is an ultra marathon. So right when we get done finish with this, I'll go run 4 miles just as like a short run day at a marathon pace, and then we'll stick to the training routine for that, and hopefully that kind of gets me back on track as far as like health goes. I'm eating a little bit better now during the summer. Sometimes like whenever everything's just going crazy, it's just way easier to just eat out instead of making food. So I'm getting on a better diet for sure. And then as far as knowledge goes, I've kind of shifted from books to like podcasts and like clips. Gary V, super heavy right now.
Dude's good.
Obviously Alex Hormozy, you can't miss that one at all. And I really liked Dan Fleischman. He's got the Money Mondays podcast. I've been really enjoying that because it's like 45 minutes. So it's quick, easy. And he's got really good guests on there that you can get good perspective from. Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone one was good.
Grant Cardone I've been looking into a little bit more. It's funny, right? Whenever I get into Grant Cardone, his twin brother Gary pops up. So probably have to look into both of them a little bit more. I think he's misunderstood from just me like diving in a little bit. Like he's got some seriously good perspective. And Tai Lopez, man.
Tai Lopez is on the comeback.
Oh man,
though.
Yeah, serious comeback. It's funny. He actually went away because somebody snuck into his house and tried to steal one of his cars at one point. So he just went full out like
off
gone,
the grid,
ghost. Yeah,
just disappeared.
He talked about it in the Dan Fleischman podcast, but yeah, Josh put me onto him for sure. I obviously knew who Tai Lopez was, but he's a genius. He's like a modern day philosopher. Jordan B. Peterson for sure. But I guess kind of my point in saying this is like I've switched to the podcast, and though they're good, they're not as good as books because. This is actually a Tai Lopez quote. He says 99% of the world's greatest mentors are dead. 99% of the world's greatest mentors probably wrote books as well. So why would you not read books, right?
Yeah.
Another thing to kind of think about, this is the way I look at it. Whenever I was reading books, I would read the books of people that I watch podcasts of.
Right.
The podcasts are great, but the books are literally like years of work put into collecting their thoughts in the most articulate way possible.
Yeah.
So the knowledge is a lot more dense. It's a lot like better put together. So it's definitely like a lot more worth it. So in terms of knowledge goals, like coming into the end of the year, coming into next year, that would just be like getting back to the books, man. Just getting back to the basics.
I like it. Sweet. With all the time that we've had in the off season, I mean, obviously there's a ton of work, ton of hours, ton of recruiting calls. But then again, you do have to do some stuff for yourself. You've been picking up golf a little bit, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, how's that going for you?
Yeah, so not very well, honestly. I bought some pretty expensive irons off one of the boys for a pretty good deal. I got gifted Scotty Cameron, a Stealth, and a Stealth Hybrid. So I'm set. The golf bag is good.
You have to let me know where you're getting these gifted.
Yeah. Yeah, super good people, man. Super hard to come by nowadays. Just genuine guy. But yeah, my golf bag's a lot better than my golf game right now. I could promise you that. I shouldn't even have a set of clubs yet. But I'm getting a lot better fast. I think I need to actually wean off the golf a little bit. I'm golfing too much. Like when it's more than twice a week, you know, you kind of got to check yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like not much. It's funny. Like I relate to Alex Hormozy a lot. Like my hobbies are business. My hobbies are personal development. And Alex Hormozy is like the hero we all needed, in my opinion, if you have that sort of mindset, because he just challenges the narrative. He's just like, who cares if you work all the time? Who says that's wrong? You know what I mean? So I really enjoy work like a ton, and a lot of people will like look at me and think like that's unsustainable or like
label you a workaholic.
Yeah. Or even just like try to say that I'm putting on a front because I seem happy all the time, but I'm working all the time, and they're just like, oh no, he's only doing it for his business presence. He's only doing, and for me, man, this is like what gets me going. It's what fuels me. You know what I mean? So I'm not really picking up too many hobbies. I actually slightly picked up golf because it's like one of the one sports you can actually like interact with people and actually do business through. So I think like in the future I'll be good enough at golf to take some business partners out to golf or something and just control the frame and dominate them on the golf course and we'll take it back to the deal. You know what I mean? Take it back to the table.
I like it.
That's why I'm getting into golf, to be honest.
All right, cool. That diet's getting dialed too?
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. I know you talked about it.
A little bit, man. I'm not a nutritionist by any means, and I hate vegetables. So I just take daily greens every day to kind of like supplement those. And on top of that, it's like vitamin C, turmeric, ashwagandha, zinc, fish oil, magnesium, like the standard, I guess you could say. It's nothing crazy. But yeah, I pretty much eat like a pound of ground beef or a pound of ground turkey with rice if I need carbs or calories. Sometimes it's hard to get calories whenever you're eating clean. But yeah, other than that, like protein shakes, protein bars, like that's what I'm trying to hop back on. That's the best I've ever felt in my life, doing this exact same diet a couple years back. So just getting back on it, and I love it too. I'm a simple guy. Like chicken and rice with some barbecue sauce is like all I need, to be honest with you. I don't really need like the 5-course meals and stuff. But yeah, honestly, what do you want to know about me that I've never told you? What's like just some random stuff we've never talked about?
Oh man,
I really like the idea of this because it's like one of my best friends interviewing me, and it's like, what is something that you've just never asked me or asked for perspective on?
Yeah, and it's a lot tougher than you guys think because like I've had these conversations with him hundreds of times, like for probably way longer than this, like
for years,
3, 4, 5 hours just sitting on a couch. Something I want to know. This is kind of like not as serious, but what is you have beef with Ozarka water? Is that like a story from Texas?
No. That's the exact opposite. I would stand behind Ozarka water.
Okay. I thought you were comparing it one time to Zephyr Hills.
No. It was the
Florida.
opposite.
Very bad water.
Dude, if you're a connoisseur of water, Zephyr Hills, you know it. It's mud. It's mud in a cup.
It's Florida water. Not a shot at Florida. Florida's a great place. Water,
it's Everglades
not so
water.
good.
It's bad. It's not hot springs water. It's not the good old Texas water like Ozarka. That's for sure.
So that's your go-to. You go in a store, you're seeing.
Oh, dude, if I'm in Texas,
in
Texas, it's either Pure Life or Ozarka. I'm not gonna lie. Pure Life might be slightly controversial, but Ozarka for sure.
Okay, gotcha. Questions I really want to know. Are you leaning towards? I don't know if this is supposed to go out there, but is there a possible purchase coming up of a TRX? I mean,
yeah. So at first I was thinking I'd probably do it for tax purposes this year, just because I don't want to get hit with a bunch of taxes. Try to avoid as many as I can, but I'm gonna try to cost segregate my duplex. Take literally every business expense I can, marketing expenses, ads that I've ran. Paying for incentive dinners, lunches, miles. I did buy a new car already this year, which is like the one thing holding me back from getting the TRX. Because I think, don't quote me on this, I'm not a tax professional, but I think the most you can take on like a truck this year is like $60,000. I'm not 100% sure. I know they cut it
back a little bit.
Yeah, they barely changed it. So I bought like a $26,000 car, which is pretty much like half of that already, and my payment would be a fifth of what it is on the TRX almost. So, not necessarily leaning towards the TRX yet. One purchase that I'm kind of looking at next year would be, this might sound stupid and crazy to most people, but I really like the idea of like a Lamborghini Huracan, like a used, like get like a 2016. It looks brand new, still super clean, super fast. It's got like the same drivetrain as the Audi R8, and I've ripped Mark's Audi R8 around a little bit, and
things fast.
It's a good feeling, dude. It's a dope car. There's just a lot of modifications you can make to it too. So I would love like a Lamborghini Huracan next year, but that is kind of written in my self contract of being contingent upon other things like performance at work, real estate acquisitions, and stuff like that. So we'll see if it happens or not. We'll see if we can make it happen or not.
Yeah. In life, man. How's the?
Oh, are we getting deep here? Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, what's the outlook on? I mean, we're getting. We can't deny it. We're getting a little bit older here.
I knew it, man. That's what's coming.
We're getting a little bit older here.
Family.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, what's the outlook on that? I mean, do you obviously not plan, but I mean, you got to start at least somewhat thinking about it, maybe crossing your mind.
Yeah. And that's another thing, to be completely transparent and honest, that I've been thinking about as I start to make more money. It just gets more and more like scary to think about, like, you know, getting to the point, like the height of success that I want to be at and not having somebody already. So, yeah, like I'd love to like make something happen, like have a family, but I just feel like it's just tough with the way my brain works. Like it's tough to run across somebody else that's like compatible with me.
Wired the same way.
Yeah. Like there's not very many people that would put up with a guy that works all the time. There's not many people. Like I'm kind of like a stickler. Like I'm super petty with my commitments and stuff. Like I'm very hard to talk out of, like, hey, don't go on that run tonight. Let's go bowling. You know what I mean? So like the dating stage is always awkward for me. You know what I mean?
Because you got to find someone that matches with that.
Yeah, that understands it, dude, and it's hard. So, yeah, I'm not sure right now, honestly, but I'd love to, like, by 25. I'm only 21 though. That's the thing. You're an old dog. You're 22 now. So, yeah, I would love to, you know, have something by like 25. Kids are like, honestly, earlier than later. Like, I feel like a lot of times people hold off on kids because they don't have their life set up yet.
Right.
I feel like I'm the exact opposite. I don't have the option to have kids because my life is already set up. You know what I mean? So
it's good.
By the time I, you know, find the one and get married, like, kids are coming ASAP. You know what I mean? Just because it makes sense. Like, I'd love to be the cool, young, healthy parent that can, you know, and especially with the freedom that, like,
go on the trips and stuff with your kids.
Could provide, like, just be that guy that's always there for the kids. So it's I mean, it's part of the plan. The plan just hasn't prevailed yet, I guess.
I guess looking too much forward, or maybe I'm not, but like that wedding's got to be crazy. Not only one,
no, that's funny.
Are all the boys pulling up in some crazy cars?
Yeah.
But two, I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah, we could shut something down for sure. But me personally, I actually have a interesting viewpoint on this. I don't think I've ever told you. Like, I really would not have a traditional wedding. Like, part of me, I mean, unless it's something that my wife just absolutely insists on, like, I wouldn't. I would just like go to the county and get like eloped, essentially. Just like super low key. Like, I feel like I'm weird. Like, I just detest everything that the normal human does. Yeah. So like, I would way rather like show my love or affection in like a different way, to be honest. So like a big, huge wedding just isn't in my plans. Maybe that'll change in the future, but as of right now, it's just like I like don't do anything normal people do. So. It would kind of go against my code.
I thought you were going the complete opposite way of that. I thought you were going to be like four-wheelers, dirt bikes pulling up to the reception.
That could be sick. That could be a possibility. Or maybe some on the lake and just like have like a houseboat wedding. That'd be sick. Some jet skis pulled up for sure.
Maybe running back
Vlad,
in Florida.
My guy Vlad, if he's watching, he's gonna enjoy that one for sure. He'll be there, I guarantee it. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm really just excited for life. I'm really excited to like see what comes from this. Hopefully we did a good enough job today, kind of showing the people who I am or slightly what I'm about before we jump into everything. But
just one of the boys.
It's gonna be cool to look back on someday. Like, I don't know how serious I'm gonna take all the social media stuff. I'm still debating. Like, you kind of know how my brain works. It's like, as soon as I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I hate, because like I'm petty with the commitments. Like, I hate making those commitments if I know I'm not going to keep them, because I just like, I'm hard on myself in a good way. So I'm not 100% sure how serious we'll take it, but for sure crank out some reels, crank some good content. And if those go good and we start catching traction, I could definitely see taking up YouTube a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely got to get like some type of, I don't know, maybe not a podcast, but you got to get something in Thailand.
Oh yeah, that could be sick. We'll see if they have like a podcast room or something up there.
Yeah,
Maybe just take like a little fold out table from one of the cookouts and post up on the beach.
We'll just have it in the room with like the background of the entire golf course.
Yeah, absolutely. Or we could just take a golf cart, post up in the golf cart.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it could be good.
That's good.
But sick. Other than that, anything else you wanna put in? 2 cents?
No, man. I'm excited. I mean, like you said, this thing has been in the talks, and you guys wouldn't believe how long this has been in the talks. Years.
It's
years.
unreal. I don't even care if anybody watches it. It was fun to do it.
No, it was sick.
Dead serious. And just I don't know. We got to get another one where I interview you. You know what I mean? So, we'll get something running for sure because this was fun. Like even if nobody watches it and nobody gains any value from it, I'm gonna try my best every time. But I'm happy with how it's came out already.
I think the ability for people to see truly who Ayden Parent is. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I've kind of known the guy for a long time, so I kind of know how the brain works and how he moves. Mm-hmm. But to let people see you, and it's not necessarily kind of like the business side. Yeah. To just know that like you truly are like an absolute homie, you know, or like one of the boys.
Yeah, no. I was telling Jacob yesterday. Yeah. We ran a 3 mile, and I told him that I would shoot for an 8-minute pace. I didn't commit fully. That's why I didn't.
You would shoot for it.
I said I would shoot for it, and I ended up at like an 8:27 pace or something. Okay. And he beat me like an 8:15 pace maybe. But I just remember as I'm finishing up that run, this is why I like running too. It's probably the hardest thing, and I like dislike it so much. But every single time I go on a run, I have like these amazing thoughts. And I just remember thinking, as Jacob's whooping my ass as we're running a 3 mile, I'm like dying, huffing and puffing, and I could just see him in the like distant view, turning left onto the next street. And I'm
he had some space on you.
Yeah, he probably had 70, 80 yards on me. It pissed me off. But yeah, and I just remember like thinking, I was like, people view me as like an extraordinary human, like exceptionally gifted, successful. And I just remember thinking as I'm watching Jacob just absolutely destroy me in a 3 mile, the more you hang out with exceptional humans, the more you hang out with extraordinary humans, the more you realize like how ordinary they are. And there's not much different about them. It's just their perspective, what they view as their reality, and how consistent they are. Like, that's like the key. I feel like I'm a pretty average human, like a pretty normal guy, just a homie, right? Yeah. But my perspective, my views on life and what's important to me, and the way I can just constantly show up is the thing that separates like normal people from extraordinary people.
It's the thing that puts you above average. Yeah,
and there's really nothing different about me other than that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of agree. Letting everybody see that, I think it could be. 10 years down the road, man, I'm always planning something, right? 10 years down the road, whenever I've made it big and everything's all said and done, I think looking back on something like this is going to be pretty special.
Yeah, man. Sick.
Sick.
Cool, man.
We're out, baby.